Very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for the Storm Report for season number 3, episode number 19 on this 19th day of February. It's hard to imagine we are just blowing through the new year in the first quarter. It's just blowing by, but we've got an action-packed program for you. And you talk about an A-list for guests here. To my left, head coach Jeff Rutter. We'll talk with Coach Rutter about the ACU men's basketball team here in just a moment. And we also have great guests here. We're going to talk some baseball. Eastyn Culp will be with us. Jared Anderson will also be on the program. And then we're going to go surfs up. We're going to talk beach volleyball on tonight's program with women's beach volleyball players Amaya Brown and Sydney Shaw will both be in studio. So we'll talk with those ladies about the start for the beach volleyball season. In fact, they're starting off at 6-1. That is the best record and the best start in program history. So without further ado, I'm Kevin Derryberry. I'm your program host. This is Ed Cole to my left, and the man in the middle is the most recent member of the 275-win Coaches Plateau, Coach. So congratulations on 275. And it's memorable because you knocked off the Crosstowners in the backyard ball, and it was a 20-point victory over OUAZ. Congratulations on the dub.
Yeah, thanks. That was a great win. Our guys had a really good week of practice. We're really, really locked into our scouting report and went out and executed what we wanted to do defensively.
I tell you what, I think it was 11 steals, 17 assists. So you're getting it done on both ends of the floor. And I know we talked about with Coach Meyer just about sharing the sugar, and we mentioned that before. But your team led by example and did a great job of that.
Yeah, and we thought this would be a very good passing team when we put it together, and it takes some time. You got a lot of new guys, and our returners were kind of sliding into new roles with our dominant ball handlers graduating and moving on. So it took some time, but I think we're starting to get there, and we're certainly at our best when we're high assist and doing things and looking for each other. And our big guys this year are very good passers as well. Anthony Howell and Garza and Tucker and
very
guys.
Much so.
Yeah, a lot of guys that look out for each other, and we can play through multiple positions, and doesn't always have to be a true point guard there.
A little tight in the first half, Coach. You're down 10. You end up leading by 6 at the half, and then you kind of blow it open in the second half. Score, put up a 50-burger on them in the second half. What were some of the adjustments that you made at halftime in the locker room and the guys came out and they looks like they immediately responded and they just took it right to the spirit?
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well to start. The score didn't show, but we had a couple baskets or shots right at the rim that we just missed. So I thought we executed and just missed some shots. And I thought we did a good job defensively, and they hit a couple tough late clock banked where I don't think they intended to bank it, but got a few of those. So I think the result wasn't necessarily what we wanted to at the start, but I thought we were forcing tough shots and playing good defense and getting to the basket offensively and just didn't have much success. So I think the biggest thing was that just started to flip a little bit, where we continued to, do what we were intending to do defensively and the results started to follow. And then, and we just did a nice job executing offensively, and Anthony Howell had a big game, and that kind of loosened things up for everybody else, and guys did a real nice job.
Kevin, Coach, a little interesting stat, just 11 turnovers for your team, but you only give up 9 points off the turnovers. I thought that was pretty interesting. To what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I'd have to go through those, what those were. A moving screen or something like that where they're taking it out of bounds is better transition defense than coughing it up and starting to break for them. So I don't remember the nature of those, but 11 turnover. That's below our season average. We can live with that.
Yeah, but basically, you didn't give up a whole lot of points on turnovers.
Yeah.
That was the main gist of it.
Yeah, and all these are everybody in our league's really good. Otto's really good. It's even games going into these things. So it really comes down to possessions. So if you're turning the ball over a lot and giving them extra possessions and or not blocking out and giving them extra offensive rebounds or whatever that may be. Like if you're giving them a good team more shots than you're probably going to lose. We've had a few games where we've been lucky where we've given, up at Menlo, they had 15 more shots, but we shot, 60% or something incredible just to kind of overcome that. But that's not the template that we're trying to follow. So taking care of it, blocking out, getting some offensive rebounds, creating turnovers on our own, just trying to win that possession war is something we try to do every game.
Coach, you were down 14-4, as you mentioned. Ed, you're down early, but you played through that. Ended up going on a 36-point run almost. You flipped the script to the tune of 36 points. You led by as many as 26, won by 20. But I thought Dennis Fowler's III really kind of spearheaded that, and there was a lot of great players and performances from everybody. But I thought Dennis really distributed the ball well and hit some big shots for you, kind of get you going a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, his 7 assists I thought were really impactful, and then once everybody starts to get in the flow and that, then he can, if your hands are down, he can pull it, and it's a good shot for him off the dribble there. So he played great. The down 10 was nothing. We were down like 25 to them at their place, so we've had a few of those duds to start and get going a little bit. So Dennis played great. Thought Trent did a good job. Dom came in and played really well off the bench for us.
We're definitely going to mention that. The stunt team, once again, was outstanding. Yeah. Dom G was phenomenal. Both ends of the floor, too.
Yeah, he's really had a really good month, getting better and better. So he's one of our vets, played a ton of games for us, had moments this year where he's won the game for us, and he's starting to kind of hit his stride.
That baseline jumper, your side of the court, right in front of you guys, that was sweet. To see him kind of backpedal, play a little D with that grin. We saw 2 grins. Anthony Howell had a big grin after that 2-handed flush. Yep. That was outstanding on a break. And then something I picked up, you and I were right on this. In fact, you and I might have been the only 2 in the building that picked this up. There was a foul where Tucker Molina went to the line, and he only shot 1 free throw. You probably remember the sequence because you certainly called it out with the official.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the broadcast, and your hands were like this. And I'm like, Coach Rutter, it's 100% right. It was a 2-shot foul, but yet he only shot 1 foul.
There's a few head scratchers there.
Yeah.
They said he took a step afterwards. I didn't agree with that, but you roll with it. Yeah, I was surprised they only committed 2 fouls in the second half, at least for the most of the game, and we were at the basket quite a bit and attacking, and would like a few more of those called. But
I thought there were 2 fouls after the game was over. At the very end, too. It just seemed like it could have gotten interesting during the handshake line. I mean, nothing was crazy, but I thought there was another nudge or something like that there in the middle of that whole thing.
Yeah. Just got to walk away.
Coach, when you're in a big game like this, both your team have the same identical records, same conference records, and it's a game that big, and you're down 10, and there's so many ebbs and flows and swings, just like it is every basketball game. What does that say about your basketball team, that they can stay smooth and steady down 10, as Kevin mentioned, a 36-point swing, and then it all just changes like that? What does that say about the makeup and the mentality of your team?
Yeah, I think we're maturing. We're that might scare you early in the year or something, or panic, or cause guys to start hero ball or trying to do something that they don't do well. But we've been down. We were down 30-4 at Jessup and came back and made it a game. We've been down 20 and 1 games. Like we've experienced this, that if you do things right, and take good shots and share the ball and work hard defensively and block out. Like if you just do things right, good things are going to happen. Might not be right away.
Patience is key too, right?
Yeah. You just it's cliche, but you work the process and you do those things that lead to winning. And that was my at that first media timeout when we were down 10-4. That was my hey, we're getting good shots. And they're taking tough shots. They're just making them, and we're missing these. And we'll just keep doing that. Things will start to turn around for you. So I think some maturity and experience that we've started out slow before and just need to tighten up and get back to doing what we do. Same thing when you get a lead too, is don't get overconfident and think you're good because you have a lead. Just there's a reason you had a lead. Keep doing those things that got you a lead if you want to keep the lead. And if you get away from that, it shrinks and it's gone. So I think just experience, and then every game, Life Pacific has not won a conference game but been in a lot. But outside of that, the top 7 are there's not much separation between the teams. So we've had battle after battle after battle where it can ebb and flow like that in a good way and a bad way for us. So I think that experience has helped us, just not get too panicked and on a slow start. We'd certainly like to start better, but I thought we did a nice job early on. Just didn't have the results.
Coach, do you ever crisscross with Coach Keeley and his staff in the recruiting process? Maybe in the early years, I thought maybe there were a time or two where you might be going after the same player. Has that happened recently at all, or just out of curiosity?
Yeah, that happens every once in a while with them and some others.
I was curious about Jacob Henry. He just had he was smaller in stature, but extreme quicks, good shooter, all those things, good hands, distributes the ball. But Angelo Johnson came to mind when I saw him, and I thought it's kind of interesting that the Crosstowners have a player that's very similar to a guy that just stole the show quite a bit, on the court, defensive player of the year, all those good things. Angelo was quite the point guard, so I thought it was kind of interesting. I was curious if you guys were ever interested in Jacob Henry.
Yeah, we had a lot of guards coming back, so we kind of had that position filled.
Okay.
But we were aware of him. But I think he's been great, and he can certainly score. But I think he had 10 assists against us last time, leads the conference in assists. I think his ability to get in the key and find his teammates, he's really, really good at that.
Yeah, he was outstanding, I thought. My last one for you, Coach. Well, actually, I've got one more point for HIU, but before I finish up with OUAZ, I was curious about you as you watch other basketball games and you watch other coaches. Do you watch coaches kind of interact with the officials? I'm just curious because I've been kind of honing in on this, whether at the high school level or at any level I'm watching basketball, whether I'm broadcasting or I'm doing PA, just kind of isoing on some of the coaches on how they interact with the officials, whether it be first name basis or eye contact or the shoulder stuff or, just anything like that. I'm curious, you probably developed your own style over the years, but did you ever look up to anybody or say, hey, I like how he interacts with somebody like that? I'm just curious.
I think my mentor, Coach Odell, is probably, and he would be the one when I became a head coach that I would go to for advice on that. But just, knowing he had a certain style, I don't necessarily want to say that publicly, but he had a certain style that worked, and knowing when to, stop and be quiet and move on and when to just focus on your team and that. So I don't notice any other, I'm oblivious to coaches and fans during the game. So I have no idea what a Coach Keeley or someone else is doing during the game. But certainly develop our own style. And I would rate a good official, I expect calls to be good and bad, just ones that will communicate with you, right, and let you feel like you're being heard and be able to move on without getting sensitive to it and that. So I thought we had a real good crew on. I didn't agree. I thought we got fouled a lot more than we got called, but they communicated well and good guys and worked hard. And, so I was fine with it.
It's interesting when some of the officials will respond with, I didn't see it that way, Coach, or whatever it was. But I do see.
Hear me out. Tell me to be quiet. I'll move on.
You interact with them quite a bit, and it's just kind of funny. But I knew Ray Portella of Sunny Slope comes to mind. He just has this really innate ability to get a couple calls, I think. And I want to say working the officials is how I used to say it, but now I think interacting is probably more preferred with the officials. So my thought there. Ed?
So when you have those kind of games, Coach, when calls are you just shake your head and you're on the sidelines like Kev said, and you've got your hands up. You've had hundreds and hundreds of games like that in your career when things just aren't going your way as far as calls are being come from the referees. How do you overcome that and just push through that and just have your guys ready and you just move on past it?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day you got to be able to move on, right? And you want to fight for your guys if there's and you want to, if the other team's doing something that's gaining an advantage, you want to call that to attention. But at the end of the day, you can't control it, and you got to move on. And sometimes I do that better than other times. So, and then try to get your guys to adjust too. We had our coming up to this trip or our last trip against these opponents coming up this week at Hope at Vanguard. In 2 consecutive games, I think we shot less than 10 free throws, maybe 5 or 6 against Vanguard, who's very physical. And then 2 nights later, we took 52 free throws, right? And both very physical, aggressive defensive teams. 4 free throws against Vanguard, 52 against Hope. And they're very similar styles, but you just got a different crew. And so at some point, you just got to hey, they're not calling this tonight, so you got to toughen up and expect to get hit and play through it, right? Versus, hey, they're calling everything, so don't shy away from contact. You got to embrace it, and you'll probably get a call, kind of thing. So you need to adjust, right? And those are same types of teams with drastically different games and within 2 days of each other. I think that can be hard for college kids to understand. I think the game in California is typically a little more less called than they let you get a little more physical there. So I think that can be difficult too when you're used to maybe getting some touch stuff here and then you go there and they're letting you beat each other up a little bit. So just try to draw, but at the end of the day, you can't control it. You got to move on.
Great segue, Coach. Speaking of beating each other up just a little bit, we got to set the stage. GSAC Conference basketball coming up Thursday and Saturday. The last two on the home slate, and HIU is first. This will be the 27th meeting between the two programs. Deadlocked at 13 apiece. You've beaten them 4 times, including that triple overtime thriller at their place at Darlington Pavilion. 119-111. Any takeaways from that game? I know that Paul Hayden had 33, a career high, went over the 1,000-point night, 1,000 points that evening, and you come away with a victory. In fact, you played HIU. And in 3 games over the history in those 13, you've scored over 100 3 times against HIU. So you guys seem to score the ball well against Bill Check's defense.
Yeah, I don't expect us to hit 119 against them again. That doesn't happen very often.
It did take 3 overtimes.
52 free throws helps.
Yeah.
I think we had eight guys between the two teams foul out. It was just a tough game. So there was, very odd lineups at the end of the game on the court still, whoever each team had left. So he's a great coach, great. His teams play great defense. They've gotten this team has gotten better and better for them. Mm-hmm. A lot of new guys. We had a lot of new guys. Just you're not. They're not the same team they were in November, just like we aren't. So they've. I don't think they've lost since that triple overtime. They've won 4 in a row. They put themselves in a great position, in terms of national tournament opportunity and chance to win the league and that. So it's going to be a good one. There's really not much difference between. I know Vanguard's in 7th, but they've got 2 big-time wins against College of Idaho and Montana Tech, and they're as good as anybody in a given night. And they've still got a chance. I think all 7 teams have a chance at the national tournament with 2 to go.
That's remarkable for the GSAC.
Yeah.
As we see it right now, we know things are going to change down the road, but as we see it right now, arguably one of the best conferences in all the land.
And then, Coach, when all's said and done, don't you want to be in this position where you're in first place, you're in a 3-way tie for first, you got HIU coming in, obviously they're one of the 3 teams that are battling for first place, and you got a shot to still win the GSAC. Yeah,
for sure. Outside of having a 5-game lead, no better place than
True.
Chance to win the conference, and there's still 6 teams that have a chance to win it, I think, or maybe 5 teams that still have a chance to win it. So with, we may be tied for first now, but against 2 very good opponents, we could finish anywhere between 1 and 5 with the rest of the week or the rest of the league here. So, that's humbling, right, to know
sure.
you might be in first in alphabetical order, our names listed up there. But, if we don't play well and play hard and execute things, and we could be the 5th name listed there as well. So
you do control your own destiny. So that's a good part about that equation is that you win out and you look like you have a strong resume to win the conference for sure.
Yeah, and I think Hope, Masters, Ottawa, there's a lot that control their own destiny too, are kind of in that same boat. So it was a crazy night. Saturday was a crazy night with Hope beating Masters, with Menlo going to Jessup and beating them. It's going to be a crazy week.
It opened up the door. It really did.
Yeah,
it's like, here we go. Quick note on the Masters. They get Jessup, and they've handled them over historically, and they also get Life Pacific. But what I was going with is Masters is undefeated at home at MacArthur Center this year, so they're 12-0.
12-0.
But yet they get Jessup and Menlo, so they got their work cut out for them because
2 very good teams.
Jessup's already beaten them once at home. So
when Jessup shoots the ball like they did here, they can beat everybody.
Yeah, they can.
They've shown that where they can explode for 15, 16 threes in a game, and the Menlo's playing really well. Menlo, we were really. I think we opened conference up with them, and we thought they were a title contending team, and I think they are, and they're making a hard push at the national tournament now. So,
Coach, we've endured our time here tonight, and we're certainly looking forward to these 2 games. We encourage everybody to come out and pack the event center. It's been nice to have the place filled up the last few games we played here at home, so it's we want to continue to encourage that, but it's all on the line this weekend. Jeff Rutter, our guest here on the Storm Report.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Ed Cole's my co-host, and we're going to talk a little baseball. Special thank you to Coach Rutter. Always appreciate Coach Rutter and his valuable time. And on the main stage, Jared Anderson is to my left, and to his left is Eastyn Culp. We've got Eastyn, the pride of Vancouver, Washington, and Jared is out of Cypress, California. Gentlemen, welcome to tonight's broadcast.
Yeah,
How you doing?
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Some new shirts, some new gear here.
Yeah, always repping ACU, you know.
All right.
Like that coordination, huh, Kev?
Yeah,
looks
we
good.
talked about it a little bit.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll look good.
You gotta like it. I want to start off with the tone-setting Friday night pitching performance from Eastyn Culp. 5 1/3.
Yes.
Most notably picks up the dub, so
Yep.
that's huge. But 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earnings, 2 walks, 6 punch-outs, 96 pitches, efficient, but it was tone-setting. Tell us about your performance Friday night.
We talked about when our offense goes on a run or scores any runs to give up no runs when I'm pitching. So attacking the zone was crucial for my outing, and that's just kind of what I did.
What pitches were working for you that night?
Just my fastball and my slider. My changeup was not there.
Okay.
Not there that night.
So you're getting guys out on the express, huh?
Yep.
All right.
So, Eastyn, when those pitches aren't working on a night like that, how do you make adjustments in your head and physically and kind of get yourself reset knowing, well, those pitches aren't – and if those pitches aren't working, do you come back to them at some point during the game, or do you just kind of abandon it all?
Well, I decide that they're not working when I'm done. So I try and throw it as much as I can to try and make it work as many times as I try to throw it. So.
And then is that the communication between you and your catcher? That's got to be paramount for you when things like that aren't working and you've got to make adjustments on the fly between you and him?
Yeah, for sure. And our coach is calling pitches too, so he realizes it as well. So it's kind of a three-way conversation type of energy.
Jared, 294 to start the campaign out, seeing the baseball quite well. Part of a unit that has hit 23 home runs on the year, second in the country.
Yeah.
You're still waiting for your first bomb, huh?
Yeah, man, I need to get stronger, get in the weight room, you know.
That's all right.
It's going to come for sure, though.
Yeah, you're hitting the ball hard, and we'll take the average all day long. But what's working for you at the plate in the early part of this season?
Yeah, you know, baseball is full of ups and downs, so I'm just trying to stay consistent, go about my work every single day, and you know, results are here and there, but
They'll
hit
change.
the ball hard and do what I can do with that.
I'm curious what you guys both think about the work ethic of the guy I call the franchise. That's Marques Titialii.
Yeah.
The way this young man goes about his business. He's now the all-time home run leader here at ACU as he surpassed Jonathan Nunley. But I'm curious, what's it like watching this guy go to work? Because we know he can hit, we know he can field, he can run. He's one of the greatest teammates, and people that you can ever know. But just your takeaways for watching TT go about his business.
Yeah, I mean that's our leader. That's the guy we look up to. Play catch with him every day. See everything he does, the drills, in the weight room, everything. I mean, I want to be like that guy. You know, it's awesome to be around for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a special player. He along with a couple other guys inspire me to be the best version of myself. So it's really good for the team.
It doesn't hurt that he's entertaining, right? And he's very good at baseball.
Very good.
Hits the ball a long way.
Very good.
Yeah, he does.
Jared, I got a question for you. I want to ask you about the art of the walk. You've got 4 walks this season. Yeah. What goes behind the mentality and the patience that you have to have at the plate to take 4 balls and walk and not just have the natural inclination to just swing and try to knock it out of the park?
Yeah, I mean, hitting's all about getting a good pitch to hit. So if the pitcher's not going to come throw strikes, I'll gladly take my walk and get on base, try to steal a bag and score runs because that's what we're trying to do to win the game, you know. So I have no problem taking walks, hit by pitches. I'm fine with all of that.
Yeah, I think you got hit, 5 times so far this season?
Something like
so
that.
You think
Body's hurting already, but it's all right.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but since you did.
Playing a little first base, playing some outfield.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to guess that you're going to answer. You'll play wherever Coach Mack will put you in the lineup. But any preference whether you play first base or the outfield, or
no?
Or do you feel at home at any certain spot?
No, utility guy, wherever helps us win.
Okay.
You know, versatile as much as possible, try to get in the lineup, and try to get wins.
And versatility is so key in the game of baseball today. You need to be able to do all the kinds of things if you do want to stay in the lineup.
Absolutely, 100%. We got a bunch of great players, and so you just do what you can each day and try to stay in that lineup and win, you know?
What's it like when we talk hitting and you're around the cage and you're talking philosophical things with Coach Mack or Flat or Coach Kincaid? What are some things that you hear that make your ears perk up?
Drive the baseball.
Okay.
You know,
make it cliche to simplify it, right?
Yeah, see ball, hit ball. It's really that simple. Coach Kincaid literally says, it doesn't matter if it's a fastball, curveball, if it's in that zone, attack. And I really love that. I've been told before, take the curveball, only hit the fastball, but that mindset of if it's in that zone, you can hit it. And I love that. So it's been great.
And Kev, I think it's always incredible that these young men have a split second to make a decision whether you swing or let that ball go by. And that's what I was going to say, Jared, as far as those walks and just knowing you're at the plate and you're just waiting for that pitch to come and it's coming as fast as lightning and you decide, okay, that's a good one or that's a bad one. That really always intrigues me for batters.
Yeah, just be on time, be early, and have adjustability from there.
Being relatively new to the program, what do you hear about the conference that ACU plays in? You start off with a couple of victories there. That's a great start for the season. You know the GSAC play is tremendous as we go throughout. Westmont defending NAI national champions, so we know the conference is loaded once again. But how do you kind of learn about that and then prepare as we, again, you'll take on Embry-Riddle next, but you will begin more conference play down the road here?
Yeah, the GSAC's loaded from what I've heard and seen, and to be honest, we find ourselves right up there at the top. So we're going for that first place. This year's the year we're going to take a leap, and we're going to be that first place team. So we're excited.
Yeah, for me, like I prepare like it's any other team. Like it doesn't matter if they're first in the conference or last in the conference. There's no difference in preparation for my pitching performances.
Are you a starter? Is that what your role is right now? You're that starting
I was actually just telling Jared this. I will take the ball whenever it's given.
Of course you will.
So I'll start. I've already got a couple relief appearances, so I will throw whenever the ball is given to me.
Eastyn, what do you like about the pitching staff as a whole?
We are extremely solid. From top to bottom, all of us are super competitive in the zone, and we just absolutely compete.
How about your catchers? TC, Troy Collins, he's got some thump at the plate, but he can call a good game. And then I think Ryan Eastyn is kind of an unsung and unheralded type guy on your team. Does a lot of things right, and I think he's got a plus bat as well. What's it like throwing the ball to Ryan Eastyn behind the plate there?
It's awesome. Both Troy and Ryan are awesome to throw to. They're both great receivers, and they're silent assassins because they don't say anything, but they you turn your head and they're hitting a bomb or they're just amazing.
If Ryan Eastyn had to come out to you and deliver a message, this is just you and Ryan, what would be something that he might say to you, or TC, either or?
For me, he's probably just going to come out there and make a funny noise because he knows that I'm I lock in when I'm not locked in, if that makes sense.
What's a funny noise?
Yeah.
Give it to us. Give it to us.
He'll go or something just random like that.
And what does that do for you?
It makes me laugh, and then once I'm laughed, it just it refocuses me back into the game. I don't know how it works, but it works.
It's a check on anxiety or something, right? Just it's a quick reflex for you.
Yeah, it's a complete reset because laughing for me is a full like I said, a reset, and it helps me get back on to what I'm doing because again, I was just telling Jared this, in the dugout I'm cheering on the team. I'm not like a guy that's sitting in the back of the dugout. I love cheering for my guys, so he knows that. So him coming out to me, he's not going to try and be serious and tell me a message that he knows that I won't receive well.
Okay,
so
won't be effective.
Yeah.
Jared, if you're playing first base and you see the same thing going on. Now it's like, okay, now you're going in.
I got to go make a noise, I guess. Jeez. I'm learning things up here.
Fantastic. And
Eastyn, so talk us through the feeling of being on that mound by yourself. You're up there, you're elevated, and it's you and the batter. What's that feeling like when you come out of the dugout and you make that walk to the mound, and then you're on the mound, and everything's on you. It's on you to make those deliveries and get those guys out.
Well, something that was said in practice today is like our coaches were ex-pros, and they all said that like all hitters suck and like they're better than everybody. So my mindset isn't that direct, but it's like I'm better than you, and there's no other option. So it's just like I'm super confident up there and that I'm going to hit my spots and do my job. So it's just there's a lot of confidence.
Did that come from a big leaguer, a former big leaguer?
Yeah, for sure.
Gotta wonder who that was. maybe Coach McGill. I don't know. I'm not mentioning any names, but Maddie, that sounds like something maybe Maddie would say. That's good stuff. All right, you guys, we got Embry-Riddle, and then right behind that, I think OUAZ is up next on the slate. What do you know about Ottawa and this crosstown rivalry that we talked about? And basketball was a big deal on Saturday. So your thoughts on OUAZ and playing baseball against Daniel DeRozzo, a former guy that wore the same uniform, same colors, and honored the program much like you guys are.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. But like you said earlier, it's just another team, and we control what we can control, and that's how we play the game. So we're going to go about it like that.
See the ball, hit the ball, right?
See the ball, hit the ball. It's simple, right?
Why make it any more difficult than we need to, Ed?
It's a simple sport. It really is. Jared, facing 5 ranked teams before, up until this point of the season, of course you got Vanguard coming up. They're number 17 right now. But facing those 5 ranked teams and having that pressure of playing teams that good before you got into GSAC play, what did that do to get you prepared for conference play?
Yeah, that gets us ready. I mean, we faced some of the best teams in the first few weeks, and we're ready for conference now. We've seen the best arms we're going to see, and we're ready. So, yeah.
Guys, give me some perspective on the facilities at Greenway High School. As a hitter, I know 23 bombs right now. We played, I think, 12 of the games at home. So the friendly confines are legit. As a pitcher, what are your thoughts? Maybe you don't look out there. We're glad there are no markers out there. Usually when there are no markers, as far as how far the fence is, we know it's pretty short. So just as your point, I know you're going to battle and you're not going to worry about what the issues are. But what are your thoughts as far as the confines? Short, small park, great for hitting, but could be challenging for pitching as well.
Yeah, my mindset is anytime there's a fly ball, I'm just like, oh no. Because you never know if the wind's blowing like when you're throwing. So you kind of just look at the flag, hope it's blowing the other way, and
it comes back.
And it comes back in. It just stays in the ballpark.
So on a night where there's a heavy air and it's kind of chilly, you want to pitch that night, and those are nights guys don't want to hit those nights, right? So
night games are the best for me personally.
Cape Canaveral, it's a launching pad there for sure.
Last one for me, Eastyn. It says you in your bio. It says you want to play at the major league level. Do you think are you developing the stuff that a major league baseball pitcher would have?
I would say I'm definitely trying to. I don't have it yet, but I am definitely on the path to do that, getting stronger and grinding with my guys at practice and just getting better, 1% better every day. So, yeah.
Are there some pitchers at that level you look at and you kind of pattern yourself after and say, man, I like his style, I like his delivery, I like his assortment of pitches and how he delivers to the plate?
Someone that doesn't look pitch like me at all, that I really like how they throw, is Spencer Strider. He's on the Braves. He's a starter for them, and he throws 100 miles an hour, so that's a little different too. But he just competes in the strike zone, and he has a swag to him that's just really cool. And I just he doesn't seem like a super serious guy, so off the field. So I kind of feel like that's who I kind of model my game after. But yeah.
Can you bring in the stash like Spencer?
I wish. I would have something if I could.
That's usually how it goes right there. I'd grow a beard if I could, but I can't grow a beard.
Yeah, me too.
So Spencer Strider is bringing in Uncle Charlie. He's adding a curveball to his arsenal. If you didn't know that already, he's going to bring all that nasty stuff already. And by the way, I'm going to bring a yacker to the whole thing.
Good luck, hitters.
Yeah. I think, Jared, out of curiosity, being from the Southern California area, do you have a pro baseball team that you're fond of?
Angels all day.
Angels
all day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's our guy right here, Tim Goshen, he bleeds angel red.
Let's
right?
go. Let's go.
It's all Artie Moreno all the time.
Oh.
Right? So then, just as we part ways, just a quick thought on the subtraction of Shohei Ohtani. Would that surprise you at all, or what would you have done if you're the GM? Would you have traded him, or would you try to?
Hindsight's 20/20.
Of course.
Yeah. Now I wish they traded him,
Okay.
but if you had any sense of hope that you're going to keep him, I mean, generational talent like that,
yes,
you got to try, right? Like, he sells a lot of tickets, so that's nice, right?
Key vernacular right there, sense of hope, and that is exactly what that was. That's Jared Anderson. He's Eastyn Culp. We've had a grand time talking baseball with these guys. Good luck against Embry-Riddle. That's the next one on the slate, and then, of course, OUAZ. Continued success, gentlemen. We appreciate having you on.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for having us. It was great.
It's been our pleasure. We're going to take it to the beach. We're going to talk a little volleyball coming up next as Amaya Brown is here, and also Sydney Shaw is here. So don't go away. We're going to talk a little beach volleyball on the women's circuit right after this. Welcome you back inside the Tower Grill right here on the campus of ACU. It's a pleasure you can all join us here, and we thank our global viewing audience watching the Storm Report here tonight for season number 3, episode number 19. I'm Kevin Derryberry. He's Ed Cole, and joining us on the main stage here, Amaya Brown and Sydney Shaw. And for these two young ladies, they are taking the beach circuit by storm right now, leading the charge for Arizona Christian University, and under the direction of Vanessa Berwick. I think this is Coach Berwick, is this her first year or second year now? First full year, right? First
Yeah.
full year. 6-1, the best start in school history. Congratulations, ladies. What's the start been like for you, Amaya?
Thank you. It's been a good start. Honestly, we're just focusing on playing for God, and so that's just had the ball just rolling, and just also like leaning on each other just during like times of trials that we can just like focus on ultimately like glorifying Him and being able to just kind of like come together, but for a greater purpose, and not just winning, but also playing for the Lord, and understanding that our identity is in Christ, and that we just can kind of lean on that in trials and in the good times and the bad times. So yeah.
Phenomenal. Sydney?
We have a good team this year. Like everybody asks me about like how everything's going. Not a lot of people know how like the beach rankings go, or like how beach volleyball is compared to indoor. But we have a good team this year. And just like Amaya said, like we're really focusing on like having a player-led team and internally relying on one another, especially when each matches go on. Like Amaya was playing longer than another time, so we all went over to the court and encouraged her. Like we're really focusing on being there for one another and glorifying Christ through our playing, and it is showing out in our record right now.
It's paying off. And you have to encourage the homecoming queen here.
Oh, yeah.
Amaya Brown. She needs encouragement.
Oh,
and she
yeah.
likes to talk a lot, and she's giggly, and yet she still needs this encouragement, huh?
Oh,
We all need it. We all do need it.
Encouraging
I'm a
Amaya
silly
is
girl.
easy. We love cheering on one another.
It's awesome.
Amaya, so you came up short against the number 1 team, Vanguard, but you came back a couple on the same day, and you beat the Masters, number 8, lost 3-2, won 4-1. What did you learn from playing those 2 ranked teams on the same day, just a few hours apart? What did you learn about your team? Then you went on and beat Life Pacific and Hope International. So the wins started springboarding after that loss to Vanguard.
Yeah, I think we just came in wanting to win, and obviously, like, we came in hot. I think the first half, it was a little tough in the beginning of the game for Vanguard, but like our 1-3-5, they started to come back, and it was like, it was just had the ball rolling ever since then, and that's kind of when, we were just going insanely crazy on the sideline, just being there for each other, and that's when all of our teammates started to buy in and be like, okay, like, we can do this. Like, we can just kind of, like, execute and do what we need to do to get a win on the board. So, yeah.
So what happens when a game switches that quickly? What happens throughout the course of the game where your fortunes can go from here, you're lulling right now, and then all of a sudden you're up in the stratosphere? How does it change like that so quickly?
Yeah, so in beach volleyball, the pairs 2, 4, and 6 play first, all the evens. And the 2 and 4s, when they're playing, if they win the first 2 games, that really like gives you a lot of confidence going into the 1, 3, and 5 following. Okay. So when we played Vanguard, the 2s and 4s lost, so it was disheartening. But then it came back, and our 5s won, and then our 3s were competing, and our 1s won, and it totally changed the tides of things. But when we played Masters and our 2s and 4s won, it gives you like a confidence, like you like playing your game, like okay, like I'm ready, like to play, like afterwards. Like it's a definitely interesting like strategy of how the game goes. But yeah.
Sydney, in terms of strategy, when you girls get together at the beginning of the season and Vanessa Berwick and her staff is trying to figure out what she has, right? And then you determine these pairs. How are these pairs determined? Because, Amaya, you're working with a youngster, Emily Katzer, this year, right? So I'm curious how that experience is going for you. Obviously, it's 6-1, bing, bang. But how does the coach put these pairs together? What has to happen for you to settle in with a particular teammate?
Yeah, oftentimes it comes to chemistry, just chemistry between 2 individuals, how you are with personality on and off the court, and skill-wise too, just how you can complement, because you essentially have a blocker and then a defender, but you also have split blockers as well, so where they kind of do both. Okay. So ours, like in the 5s, we're sitting with Katzer. She's a dog. Like, she's so good, and like she doesn't even like realize it a lot of the time, but it's one of those things where I'm in like a mentoring kind of look in this pairing, and I've never had this kind of thing, but it's been really cool to just help guide her through what I've seen and what she hasn't seen, and just like play for God. Like, she's really big on, we're on the same page in everything that we do. And so in our pairing, like our like goal this year is just consistency, getting a win on the board for our team, and just helping change the trajectory of the game. Because when the 2s and 4s lost, we were like, all right, let's do it. Like, let's get a dub. And we did. And that's what kind of added pressure to the other team and changed the trajectory of kind of like what it looked like for the team winning.
Totally.
Fantastic. How about you sitting with Rayleigh Dykstra?
Yeah, so Rayleigh and I actually played together freshman year to start it off. And but it's incredible to see how our partnership from freshman year to now has completely changed. Like she said, the chemistry, you really have to work towards it. You don't only do it on the court, but you have to hang out with one another off the court, and you talk about what your values are, what your goals are, like what's your weaknesses, what's your strengths. So it's been really fun. Rayleigh and I are definitely more of a scrappier team.
Okay.
And we've kind of mixed in a little bit of split blocking, but she's more of the blocker and I'm more of the defender. And it's been really fun. Like you'll see Rayleigh and I out there, like we're more of like a smiling, cheering for one another, fun, flexing pretty often because we like to do that for fun. But
You guys like to flex?
oh yeah, I should show you a photo.
That's good. You got to play with a flair, right? You have to play with some pizzazz. I think that's helpful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, Kev, here's a hard-hitting question for Amaya. Is the sand different in different locations, depending on where you go?
Yes.
That's a good question, right, Kev?
100%.
I think everybody wants to know that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
it is. At our home courts, we have a little bit of shallower sand, but it's still, like, in our opinion, like, we would take the advantage any day. But we just played at Legacy about 2 weeks ago, and that's literally the deepest sand in the Southwest, or is it?
I think it's America.
America. It is.
Some claim.
So Bellbank Park, Timbuktu.
Far.
It's right out there.
Far.
So do you want deep sand or that's too deep?
That's way too deep.
Okay.
My personal opinion.
I mean, if you want it to be hard to walk in.
Yeah.
But like,
Is it like ankle deep?
It's just like when you step, you sink, and then another step, you sink. So imagine jumping, running, kind of doing the whole thing.
So you have to exert more.
how about at Castile High School? You played there. Beach.
Yeah.
Good sand there, right?
Great sand, yeah.
Okay. And how about Victory Lane? Good sand? Not so much. Too short?
We
Too small?
call Victory Lane jumper sand.
Okay.
It's practically like you're playing on the floor.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll
That's what
take
I
it.
thought.
You get up.
It's really compact, right? They put a lot of water on all the time. You keep it kind of compact. Much like a fairway. You can relate to that.
Yeah.
Well, not a fairway, but I'm talking about a sand bunker is what I meant to say. Right?
Oh, okay.
I see.
So is there much preparation time knowing when you get to a location like that, you've got to make adjustments with a deep sand or a sand that's really that really it's kind of bouncy and springy like you were talking about. How do you prepare for that from a mental standpoint, knowing okay, we got to go in here, this is going to be some deep sand. We're going to have to work a little bit. We're going to have to work harder in these matches.
Right.
Yeah. So the strategy we used when we went to Legacy is when you're in deeper sand, you can't jump as high. So obviously our hard hits are not going to work as well. So we have to be more shooty. So like hitting more, have you heard of like a high line, a cut shot, a jumbo, we have to hit our shots more. And also when you're playing, you want to make the other players move more because the more they have to move, the harder it is for them to get there.
And the more they tire out too, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So the goal when you're playing that deep sand is to be the less tired team. You're trying to make the other team more tired than you and then take advantage of that.
Are you aware of these conditions before you go to these places?
Most of the time. I would say most of the time we are pretty aware of them.
Yeah, I would say so as well. And also adding to that, like just when you get there, ball control. It comes down to ball control, placing the ball, first ball side outs, making sure you can place the ball efficiently so you can get back and get the ball rolling again on the next play. So I think just being able to put the ball away and get back to what you got to do to get 21 on the board.
Sydney, the young lady from Merced, California, you mentioned that your game was scrappy, and I would say that scrappy is good because you were a GSAC scholar athlete and an all GSAC player, so I'll take scrappy. Yeah. We'll take scrappy.
She's a dog.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That was that's quite an achievement. We revere the GSAC conference in most all the different sports, but Beach certainly is right up there, and so that's quite an accomplishment for you.
Thank you so much.
And then also, same for Amaya. She's a two-time GSAC scholar athlete, so you're bucking for a third straight Miss Brown.
Oh, yeah. That's the plan.
Appreciate you on that. You're going to go ahead and knock that achievement out.
Do my thing. Yep.
Oh, she's a smart cookie right here. She's already gotten to her master's program.
Oh,
we got a smart girl over here.
You have to understand, her major is psychology, Ed.
Yeah.
So when you talk about psychology, this is not just easy stuff here. We're going to get deep, right?
So she wants to balance a volleyball career and a sports psychology career after college. She can do it.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm leaning towards that sports psychology kind of thing just because I really want to kind of figure out a way to help just the mental aspect of the game. I think I help with my teammates on that a lot because it's hard when you see the game a different way and you want someone else to like see it the same way you do or in a different perspective, just like giving them ideas and perspective in understanding, like, hey, there's more than one way to see the situation and how to get out of this, like, rut that you're in. Figure out, see it in a different way. Ask if you need to, like you have teammates on the sidelines. Do what you got to do. So,
and speaking of that, have you used some of that psychology on your dog teammate, Emily Cantor, just because she's young and you could do that? You could try a few things?
I have, actually, yeah. She responds really well to it because she's open to understanding. So it's really
and then
cool.
that means things are working for you, right? You're learning.
Yeah,
you try
I'm
a few
learning
things,
from
you dabble,
her. Yeah.
and all of a sudden, man, this psychology stuff's working out.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Hey, Sydney, this family entertainment center you want to open up?
Oh my gosh!
So-
I knew they were going to ask.
So is it going to be like Fat Cats, or what is it going to be like? What do you? What's the
Oh,
designs
my
on that?
goodness.
You got the architecture and all that set, or what?
I filled that out my freshman year as a joke, but it is something that I would love to get into. I actually did my capstone project on it, but in my strategic management class. But I would like to open up a family entertainment center someday that is actually able to host everyone, even people with physical and mental disabilities, and make it strategized so where like everybody could, like, there's not a lot of outlets for a lot of people to go and just enjoy a safe space to bowl, to do the arcade games, mini golf. But I knew you were going to ask that question.
Is it going to have a movie theater in it? Movie theater in it?
Well, now it is.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Sure.
Yeah, big bowling girl.
That is cool.
Ladies, I bring up OUAZ an awful lot because that's our next opponent, number 5 in the country here.
Yeah.
We get them at Scottsdale Ranch Park, which is a great place to play volleyball at. But for the baseball guys, and maybe football too, it's just another game. It's just another school. They're going to focus in on it and see the ball, hit the ball. But for volleyball, is it just another event, or is there something to this one? Is there going to be, you get a chance to see where you're at with a team that's in the top 5 in the nation, and you get to find out and kind of pair yourselves there.
Yeah. Well, we're ranked number 2 right now. They're ranked number 1. So we play them on Wednesday. So it's going to be a great game. It's just going to be a battle. But like I said earlier, like our team, we are just ready, and we're ready to just give it all we got and do what we got to do and take care of business and just be able to go insanely crazy.
Yeah.
So fun.
To me, Ottawa's not just another game.
I agree.
We told our
That's what we're looking for.
To coach, we were explaining this to Coach Vanessa, because like when we play Ottawa, like this is our rival, and she's like, they're so, like, the coaches are so nice. I'm like, but I'm telling you, when we play this team, it's not just a physical game. It's mental. It's emotional. Like there is heart in the game. So when we play Wednesday, we're going in with full force.
It's
like
a battle.
So far, Ottawa's undefeated in our GSAC. And we've had one loss so far, but we're not going to let that loss define us, and we're going to give it to Ottawa. I'm hoping to shake things up this year. I know she's ready too.
I'm so ready.
Pound the table, Ed Cole, for Sydney Shaw, this mindset. And then we'll add a Maya Brown and her psyche and that psychology a bit. Let's go get after it right here.
Yeah.
So, Maya, the ladies have the physical down, but she talked about the mental aspect of facing the number 1 team in the country. How do you lock in and make sure that the entire team is set mentally, knowing that you've got a monster hurdle ahead of you with the Spirit?
Yeah, just doing what we do, coming in every day. Like, we show up and we do what we have to do. And I think remembering that it's another game and we know how to execute and do what we need to do to get the dub. And so not adding too much pressure, because there are freshmen on the team that we have to like help guide them through because they've never seen this before. And then the returners, we've seen this about 3 years now?
Oh yeah.
And we've taken like 3 years just to like try to find the rhythm of locking in. So I think it's just going to come down to, hey, do what you know how to do. We do this every day and execute it. And that's just what it's going to come down to. So,
What helps with it is we like, especially this weekend, we play victorious already. Since we have the Lord on our side and we're playing for his glory, we've already won the game.
Yeah.
So when we go into the game, we play like we have already had the victory. It changes the way that your perspective on the game.
Yeah. And you come in with
100%.
an advantage too. Yeah.
My last one for you before we part ways, Vanessa Berwick, a lot of times players and student athletes will kind of work to and beat to the drum of their head coach. If you were to take away a couple of traits from Coach Berwick, what have you learned, and what would be some of those traits that you would take away from her as you try some of those things with your game and lifestyle?
I think a big one is loving one another and serving one another. That's something she's really big on. And I think, the cheering on the sidelines, that's a big part of it, but it comes down to the small things. So like in practice, just handing another player a ball when they're right there, just like the small things of serving and loving one another as their teammate. And that helps take the pressure off of just like the individual self and working towards the greater common goal, like I was mentioning earlier. So
being courteous to people doesn't hurt, right?
No, it doesn't.
Nope.
Yeah. And to add on to that, do you see this fanny pack that Amaya's wearing?
This is it.
We actually started something because since some teams play at once, since our evens pairs go before our odds pairs, that's called our pit crew bag.
Okay.
And we actually were able to put things in there, whether it's like a sunscreen or bandage or Tylenol, whatever it is. That is like our way of like being on the court but not on the court at the same time. Like we're there, like we have things ready, like, oh, you need chapstick, or oh, you need water, like
hand sanitizer.
Yeah, our hand sanitizer. Our entire pit crew is there encouraging our players while they're playing. It's changed the tide on how we like encourage one another. Yeah. It's been awesome.
I agree. And I also have like my sarong. It goes crazy. It goes insanely crazy. So that's something I like. That's in addition to the fanny pack. So you'll have to see it when you come out.
Yeah. So Coach Vanessa, she added that to our game, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been awesome.
It's been lit.
That is so cool.
You cannot teach chemistry. They talk about it. They try to make it happen. You either have it or you don't. It sounds like you ladies have it, and that's fantastic for Coach Berwick and the rest of that staff and all you young ladies that are making inroads in this beach circuit. And all we do is see this growth of this amazing sport continue to soar upwards, and especially out here in the Southwest. So congratulations to you for that. And
thank you.
What was it like to be the homecoming queen? Was there any extra perks? Did you get a nice steak out of that? Did the king take you anywhere? Which was Dom G, right?
Yeah, he's in the building.
Dom G's in the house.
In the building somewhere.
So I'm sure it wasn't like paired up like that, but how did it work? How did the whole the whole court work out? Everybody get together.
It was, I don't even know. I didn't even know, like, they sent me an email saying, like, oh, like, you got nominated for homecoming queen. I was like, oh, they have the wrong girl. Like, I literally didn't respond to it because I was like, who sent me this? Like, is this a joke? And then, like, Monday comes and, like, Callie walks up to me. She's like, hey, like, did you get my email? I was like, what email? And she was like, the homecoming one. And I was like, oh, like, you were like, this for real? Like, it was for me, like, it was real. And I was like, oh, yeah, like, my bad. Thought it was, like, an accident or something. And then I found out, like, Sid is the one who freaking nominated me, so.
I did. This girl deserved to be homecoming queen. Are you kidding me? Like, so.
Definitely outside of my comfort zone.
It was wonderful.
For sure. But it was a cool experience, and definitely very outside my comfort zone, but I'm glad that I was able to experience it just because it was cool to just see that the school is really supportive, and just being able to, be authentically me and do what I do every day and interact with people. It was just really cool.
That's once in a lifetime.
That's awesome.
I mean,
truly,
not everybody can say that, right? I mean, I've never been a homecoming king.
Me neither.
How about you, Ed?
Nope.
Yeah,
never came close.
Not even close, right?
Nope.
If they ask you right now, right, they send you a note saying, hey, we need you to do color for the Super Bowl, you'd be like, color for Fox Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Joke.
Like I'm taking over for Tony Romo. Yeah, right.
We'll take his paycheck.
Yep.
Yes, you will.
I'll take that paycheck.
Sydney Shaw, Amaya Brown, right off the beach circuit, our volleyballers here. And thank you so much for your time here tonight. We've enjoyed our opportunity to speak with you. For all of our guests here tonight, for Eastyn Culp and for Jared Anderson and, of course, head coach Jeff Rutter, it's been our pleasure bringing you tonight's Storm Report. For Payne Moses and our SID, our Assistant Athletic Director, Mr. Tim Gosen, we thank him. For Ed Cole, I'm Kevin Derryberry. Until next time, so long for now.